Hey guys, what's going on? It's RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Nolan, and in today's video I have got another upgrade for the Traxxas Slash XL5 brushed ready to run. Now, if you've been watching the progression of this machine, you'll know that so far the upgrades I've done is I put the high-speed gearing on, which is an optional gearing that came with the ready to run kit. And then from there I installed Proline Badland wheels and tires. I put front and rear hub carrier steering knuckles, hub carriers in the back. Those are all aluminum now. Nice blue anodized. I put a steering bell crank assembly on that's also aluminum. That's a Traxxas upgrade part. And I put that 23 tooth pinion in, and we tested the top speed using my GPS, and we got 30 miles per hour. So 30 miles per hour is basically what you can expect with running the high-speed gearing. But I got thinking, you know what, before I go brushless, because I'm very, very tempted to go brushless at this point. But I thought, before I go brushless, maybe I should see if we can gear this thing even higher. So I looked online, and I found this right here. Part number 2431, which is a 31 tooth pinion. We're jumping up another, 8 teeth. So we're going from a 23 tooth pinion to a 31. And I want to see what kind of top speed we're going to get running this. Do you think we'll top 40? I mean, the one thing I am concerned about running this is obviously I'm going to continue bashing it. So can the system hold up? Can this brush system, the XL5 ESC and this 550 Titan motor, can it hold up to the abuse of running such a high gearing? Because they're going to put a lot of strain on that motor. And I'm worried about what kind of punch it's going to have from a start. So is it going to be slow from a start and then just pick up speed slowly? Or is it still going to have a decent amount of punch from the start? Because if we don't have any punch from the start, then it's no fun either. So before I go brushless, guys, we're going to try this out. 31 tooth pinion. I'm going to install it for you guys. And in the next video, we're going to run this thing and test it out. And we also are going to be testing out the Badland tires and all the other upgrades that we've done, because I haven't run it since I've done those things. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, let me get the body off of the Traxxas Slash. If you guys remember, I put Gorilla Tape on the inside of this body, and the Gorilla Tape's holding up real well. It's really strengthened this body quite a bit. Alright guys, now to get access to the gear case, we got to remove the wheel first. So that's a 7mm nut that we have to remove. So I will remove that right now for you guys, so you guys can see a little bit better. You can probably do it without removing the wheel and tire, but it's a lot easier this way, and it's a lot easier to show you guys with it off. Excuse me. So we got the wheel off, and now we have 2 screws, one up here and one down below. I believe those are 2mm. So we have got a 2mm right here, and let's try to go for the bottom one first. It's kind of hard to see. I believe the bottom one's a slightly shorter screw, but they are both, like I said, 2mm. So here's the screw that was on the bottom, and a little bit longer one on the top, because they were different lengths, and the last time I took the gear cover off, I got a little bit confused on which one was which. But I'm pretty sure it's the small one that goes in the bottom, large one in the top. Alright, so as you guys can see, they are, you might be able to see, they're slightly different lengths. Now the gear cover should come off. Alright, and I'm going to slide this a little bit closer for you guys, so you guys can really see what I'm doing. Oops, knocked something over, but let's see. So this is what we're removing right here. We have to remove the pinion gear, and we're obviously going to have to shift the motor again further away, and I'm hoping we have enough room where we can push it further away, because there's only so much room that you can actually move that, but I'm hoping we can move it enough to fit the 31 tooth pinion. So this right here is a 1.5mm grub screw, which we need the tiny little Allen's key for. Try to get that out. Alright, got it. And let me make sure, is that a 23? Yeah. You guys might be able to tell there. It is a 23 tooth pinion, and this is an optional gearing. I can't remember what the stock gearing was. It was either 16 or 19. but you guys can see the difference in the gear size. The difference in the gear size is pretty significant. I really do hope we can get that on there. Let me rip this open real quick and we will install it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to loosen these bolts that hold the motor in. So these screws right here, these are 2mm. There's one below, right down here. Just going to attempt to break this loose. Alright. And the top one, same thing. That's just so we can shift our motor over, hopefully even further. And that looks like that's as far as it's going to move. Will that fit our pinion? Alright, let's see, moment of truth. Ooh. It doesn't want to slide any further than that. And it doesn't want to fit on there either. I discovered by loosening these screws and pulling the motor as far away from the spur gear as possible, it does not have enough room to fit this pinion, which means now I have to unbolt the motor, and I got my Dremel tool right here. It's a Dremel. I have a little grinder bit at the end. This probably isn't meant to be used for plastic, but it's the smallest bit I could find. And I'm going to have to elongate these holes right here and probably elongate this part so the motor can move a little bit too, because that's the only way we're going to be able to make the clearance to actually get this pinion on there. And you're definitely going to want to wear safety glasses, guys. Anytime you're using a Dremel, even though we're using it on plastic, you don't want stuff flung up in your face. So definitely be cautious. But first, before we use the Dremel, and I'm hoping the Dremel has enough of a charge. I have not charged it. I literally just went and grabbed it, and I haven't charged it in a while, so hopefully it'll have enough juice to get through this. I mean, it shouldn't take but a few minutes. But we do have to take the motor completely out now. Alright, got the motor. I'm just going to set it down there like such. Ooh. Looks like I'm also going to have to remove that spur gear, because the spur gear's... Will I? I got it out, but are we going to be able... Yeah, well, okay, I got it out, but barely. Okay, so that one we can elongate. Okay, so that one's that hole is stationary right there. This is a slider right here, so we have to extend this slider out this way. We're probably going to have to extend this out a little bit as well and see if that'll give us enough clearance. So I'm going to try to do this for you guys on camera. And that's elongating. As you can see, my bit's a little bit too big. So that's elongating a little bit more than I want. But we just need to make sure these screws can still fit over it and the head can cover it up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I did elongate it a little bit more just because this Dremel bit, this is the smallest one I have, and it barely fit in there, and it elongated it just a smidge. But like I said, as long as the head of these screws can still fit over it fine, we're going to be good. I don't know how much, I couldn't tell how much I elongated that, but we'll see now if I go put the motor back in, if that gave us enough room to slide it far enough over where we can actually get that 31 tooth pinion on. Now let's see if we slide the motor back in here, will there be enough space? It's hard to tell how much I've elongated that one. And still, we have not taken off enough. Well, nearly. Like, it's on there now, but it's going to have to shift a little bit more, I think, to give us enough room where we're going to be able to actually set the gear mesh properly. I'm back. I found out something interesting. I was looking for the original spur gear that I had on it, which I believe was a 90 tooth. And I ended up grabbing my 4-wheel drive one out. I was thinking, oh, could this work? But then I realized the 4-wheel drive brushless one uses a, I believe this is a, well, it says mod 0.8, so I think that is a 32 pitch, because I think this is 48 pitch. Where's the, yeah, this right here is 48 pitch gears. The ones that come on the 4-wheel drive Slashes, that is a 32 pitch, I believe. Because as you guys can see, those are not the same size gears at all. I wonder if the same thing's true for the 2-wheel drive brushless. I wonder if it has a mod, what's this, 0.8 gear pitch. I wonder if it has a 0.8 gear pitch, or if it is also the 48 pitch like this. So that's an interesting thing I figured out. So just wanted to show that to you guys. Alright guys, I think it's now time to try to fit this motor in. I don't think I did the worst job. Could have been a little cleaner right in here, but like I said, the Dremel wasn't quite the right size, but we did get enough clearance. And we should have plenty of space for that screw to still, yeah, as you guys can see, the screw still has plenty of space to still hold on there, and it slides nice. So we're going to get the motor pushed in there, try to get it kind of lined up. So it's not the easiest job to make this work, guys. We're going to put a dab of thread lock on this grub screw as well, because those can come off pretty easily. Douse that in some thread lock, and we're going to begin threading that into the 31 tooth pinion. Yeah, that took a lot more cutting than I thought, guys. I thought it would take a lot less than that. It took a little bit more than I thought. And we got to get it tightened down on the flat part of the motor shaft, which is this top portion right here. That's the flat part. You guys can see we have just enough space. And I'm going to get that set as close as I can, and then tighten that grub screw down. That grub screw is on, and that gear mesh actually looks pretty darn good how it sits. Oh, there might be a little bit too much space. You guys can see there's a little bit too much space there. Alright. Let's see if we got the right amount of gear mesh. You guys might be able to hear or see it. You hear that little wiggle? That's how much we have. And it spins smoothly, which is important. So as you guys can see, I had to elongate it quite a bit. We got the gear mesh set pretty darn good. And you guys are going to want to stay tuned for the running video on this, because that took quite a bit to take enough material off, as you guys can see, to actually, so that slider, not just the slider, but this portion right there, I had to elongate it quite a bit to accommodate the 32 tooth pinion, or 31. Because here's the pinion we just took off. 23 tooth. There, that's the easiest thing. Put it on the shaft. See how much larger that is? And you want to see how much larger it is than the stock one? Where did I put the stock one? I had the stock pinion that this thing came with. And here is the stock pinion, which is a, what does that say? I think that says 16 tooth. Or does that say 18? Can't tell if that says 16 or 18, but wow, that is quite a bit larger. So guys, we're going from the stock setting all the way up to this, and we haven't changed anything in the electronics. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Everything looks the same, but it is geared quite a bit higher. Let me hook up the battery to it real quick and see what it's like. I'm in the house and it's dark out, so I can't go run it right now, but let's just see let's make sure first off it can move under its own power. So we got the 2S LiPo. Hook it up real quick. Got my controller, flip it on. Let's see, guys. Whoa. I am just kind of concerned. Okay, well, it can move under its own power, guys. So we're good. I can't run it right now, like I said. But we do have power. And as you guys can see, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm thinking we can go over 40, I hope. Does it say 16 or 18? I think this says 16 on it, guys. So if we go from a 16 to a 23, we went up 7 teeth. We're now going up another 8 teeth. And we gained 8 miles per hour, so I'm thinking we might be able to go from 30 to 40 miles per hour top speed. It's very possible. But, because you guys can see how much these tires are ballooning. You're going to want to stay tuned because next we're going to have a running video with this. We're going to see how hot is this electronics going to get. Because I imagine it could get pretty hot pretty quick trying to run this type of gearing. I mean, this is much higher than what this was ever intended. But like I said, if we blow this up, then we're going brushless, obviously. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out my channel. And also, hitting the like button. Don't just go watch this video through and then move on to the next video. If you have a YouTube account, please hit that like button before you go. The likes really help out these videos and get it spread to more people. I want people to be able to see this series with the cheapest Traxxas Slash and what I'm doing. And if you guys hit that like button, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in another video. Later.